Hi everyone, this is Ritchie at Yeshua Fit at the home of Kingdom Chat in Roy's house, and I'm just here today. We're going to go into a few ways to figure up your calorie intake and how much protein you should be eating and carbohydrates and things of that nature, and maybe talk a little bit about the diet that you want to eat so that you can achieve your goals. So when you first start out this program, you should probably set some goals. Not everybody's going to have the same goals, and so of course, not everybody's going to be doing the same thing. In the beginning, I figured up my calorie intake, how many calories I needed to be consuming, and I wanted to be at a calorie deficit. So if you use your phone, most people have a cell phone these days. If you use your phone, you can Google, you put in there your age, your gender, and your weight, and then you Google how many calories you need to be consuming in a day to be in a calorie deficit for your activity level. So if you Google that and everything, you should get a pretty accurate estimation of how many calories that you should be consuming in a day. And then you can break that further down into your macros by you use your usually 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Is how much you should be consuming if you're trying to build muscle, and you really want to build muscle, particularly if you're a man, but with a woman, as a woman too, because muscle will burn more calories than body fat than that will. So when you build a little bit of muscle as you are losing your weight, you will also be burning more calories even at rest. So even when you're not exercising, you'll still be burning more calories than you would had you not been building any muscle. So you also want to get, and I've got a couple examples here. You want to get some measuring cups, and you want to get a food scale. You can get these at Walmart or anywhere, you can get I got my food scale at Walmart, and you can get measuring cups even at Dollar General or at any kind of supermarket or what have you. And so you really want to be measuring, especially in the beginning, you want to be measuring what you're taking into your body so that you know precisely how many calories you're consuming. And it's important because we tend to, our eyes are bigger than they should be. So when we put stuff on our plates, if we're just eyeballing it, a lot of times we tend to put a little more on there than we probably should. And so if you measure everything out, especially in the beginning, you'll just be able to keep track of how much you are consuming in calories and what have you. So I still do it. It's been almost a year, and I still measure most everything out.
I know that when I first started, I lost weight real quick, and then I kind of stagnated, and I wasn't doing that. And you told me to do that.
Yeah.
So the last couple days or so, I've started writing down and taking in, instead of eyeballing it, making sure that I'm measuring and writing down what I'm doing so I don't go over my calorie deficit. So
yeah.
And I realized that I was probably eating a little bit more than I realized as far as calories were concerned.
Yeah.
And so,
we all do it.
Yeah. So it really is helpful to measure it because, I was cutting back, but I still wasn't in that deficit. So
yeah, you really want to be in a deficit because it's just simple math. 1 + 1 = 2. So you just need to be burning more calories than you're taking in. And so if you want to go down gradually, I crashed and did a 64-day fast, and I had like 3 or 4 handfuls of peanuts and a cup of jambalaya in 64 days. Most people are going to be better suited to an intermittent fasting. And even while you're doing that, you need to be in a calorie deficit so that you'll continue to lose weight. I will say also that as you are losing a little bit, a pound, maybe a pound or couple pounds a week is what they recommend. Now, I was losing more than that. When I did it extreme, and I was probably losing a pound a day, because I lost 105 pounds in 64 days. So, I was losing, maybe even a couple pounds a day. But I jumped off the couch and I was moving. I started walking, and not far, maybe a half a mile at first. But I just gradually built up. But when you start losing like that, it gives you a fire. It'll light that fire in you, and it'll light that drive in you. Because when you start seeing results and everything, it just gives you much more ambition to continue on with it and everything. If you plateau, if you're not being careful and you're not in a calorie deficit, and for a while you keep getting on the scale and you're not losing, and you're like, you get discouraged. That's just the way it is, and then you think, well, what's the use? It's not working. But if you knew exactly how much you were putting in, and just keep very meticulous track. Now later on, you can relax a little bit. After a while, you'll start knowing what size of weighs a certain amount. You start eyeballing it and everything. But in the beginning, it's just better, I've found, to be pretty diligent about measuring everything and keeping track and all. I also pretty much I still do eat the same thing all the time, and then once in a while, like if I go out with some friends, or if there's a special occasion, I'll eat whatever I want, but then I jump right back on it, the next meal or the next day or what have you, and just maintain you don't have to completely deprive yourself of anything you like, or but if you measure it out and you know how many calories, you could also mix and match. So if you wanted to go out and you wanted to have a piece of cake, well then have the piece of cake, enjoy your piece of cake, but then remove calories from another meal, make up for it and everything, so that so you're not really, you can have whatever you want as long as you're burning more calories than you're taking in. This is it. It's simple math. So it's not like you can't have this or you can't have that. You can have it. You just got to make sure you balance everything out so that you're still in a calorie deficit. And if you have a day where you weren't in a calorie deficit, then I immediately jump back on it the next day. But I know a lot of people, they'll get on a weekend and they maybe have a cheat day, and then they overextend their cheat days, and then they're like, oh, what the heck, what's the use? I might as well just go all the way now. Don't think like that. Like if you mess up or you accidentally consume more than you were supposed to, immediately jump back on it the next day and just get right back on it. Don't beat yourself up. That doesn't help either. The more you beat yourself up, the more discouraged you get, and the more downtrodden, and it just is, it's counterproductive. Mm-hmm. The more you encourage yourself, the more more positive incentive that you give yourself to yourself, and be kind to yourself, the better you'll be. The more you beat yourself up, the more hopeless you get, the more downtrodden and discouraged you get. So, I don't know. What has your experience been, Roy?
Yeah. So so also, even after just losing 10 pounds, I was able to start exercising more.
Yeah.
And so I've got a trampoline here at the house, and I've been just kind of walking on that, mm-hmm. and I'm probably almost 100 pounds heavier, not quite 100 than you were when you started.
Yeah.
And so then I've just noticed, like in this last week where I've been using that, trying to get up every morning and use that, my back is getting stronger.
Yeah.
Like, and that I injured my back about 10 years ago, but then I put all the weight on, which made it worse.
Yeah.
But I noticed that here in the last week or so that my back's been getting a little bit better, a little stronger. It's not quite as weak as it was just in a week's time of increasing my life. I work at a desk, so I sit all day, and then unfortunately then I'd sit all night, and it's like, you know, I've got to get up and exercise some. So to me, I think that's very important for me and what I need. Diet is absolutely key to losing weight. There's no question.
Yeah. But movement
helps too. And if you're using up more calories, then you know you're going to be able to burn more off. But also, it physically, I think it's helping me feel better. So,
well, definitely, because they say the physical activity. Human beings were built to move. We were not built to not be moving. That's just. There's so many things when I did my research that are affected by movement, just moving your body, simply walking, your VO2 max, you know, your ability to efficiently take in oxygen and transfer it to your blood, and then various, you know, to the rest of your body goes up. More capillaries. When you start walking, your body starts growing more capillaries, so that more blood gets to the different parts of your body and different muscles.
Your heart shrinks when you sit too.
Yeah. And so your heart will be able to pump more blood. Your bones get stronger. Mm-hmm. Your muscles get stronger. I mean, it's just so much. I mean, every aspect of your physical being will be affected in a good way. And then chemically, exercise also increases dopamine and serotonin and oxytocin and all those kind of feel-good chemicals, and reduces depression, and reduces anxiety.
Anybody because I have health concerns. I had a heart attack a little while back, so I talked to my doctors, both my heart doctor and my personal doctor, and make sure that they were okay with me following this diet plan, and they were. But I would encourage anybody to you know, especially if you have health needs, but anybody, talk to your doctor and make sure that, you know, you're doing what's right for you. Mm-hmm. One of the things that, if you're going to be cutting back on food and stuff, you might want to be doing supplements for calcium or something like that.
Yes.
If you're not eating those things that have those things in them, you might want to take supplements for that stuff. I know that when I went to my doctor a couple years ago, he told me, he said, your vitamin D is really low. So I've been taking vitamin D supplements ever since. And the last time I had blood work, he said, your cholesterol's perfect.
Yeah.
And he said, and your vitamin D is now perfect. And
good.
So I try to keep up with that vitamin D, and calcium goes kind of hand in hand with vitamin D. And I used to drink a lot of milk.
I do.
Now that I'm not drinking as much milk because I've cut back, I've been taking calcium supplements.
Okay.
And he told me to continue to do that. But I also, my body, for some reason, they don't know why, but I have problems with potassium. Like my potassium goes low really quickly. So I take potassium supplements too, and I'll know it because my legs will start cramping. So like that, I take potassium, and it literally stops almost immediately. You know, people say, well, you can eat bananas. Well, I can eat bananas till everything. And I've been actually on potassium supplements for years, and you know, I've talked to doctors, I've looked up online. They said that 30% of all people that go to the hospital are potassium deficient, and they don't know why. And so they said that, just, you know, there's very few diseases that cause that in particular. For whatever reason, my body has trouble regulating potassium. So I've been taking potassium supplements for a long time, and they help me. So and you know, my doctor is like, both my doctors are like, yeah, that's fine, as long as it's, you know, helping with cramp stuff, you should be fine. Yeah. But you need to make sure that you do seek out, because we're not medical people. No. I mean, I've been an X-ray tech, but I'm not a doctor. Yeah. But you need to make sure you check on that. But you know, I think that most of your doctors are going to find that, yeah, absolutely, losing weight is very healthy for you, and exercise.
Well, they almost always commented when I would go into the doctors that I needed to lose weight. I'm like, oh yeah, that's
a given.
Like it's not obvious to myself, you know, that I need to lose weight. But yeah, I take a multivitamin, men's multivitamin, and then I discovered when I was fasting that I needed to have potassium and also or electrolytes. So I started putting electrolytes powders in my water because I was getting cramps. And so that's what it turned out to be what it was. So I also take electrolytes for that. So definitely check with your doctors and what have you. They're probably going to tell you that, just give you their advice depending upon what your specific situation is. But in general, they're always pretty much in general going to encourage you to lose weight and encourage you to diet and exercise and all those kind of things. I mean, it's just, that's just common sense. But at any rate, also, I was thinking, wanted to add that a lot of people's difficulties with getting fit and getting themselves physically, more in shape has to do with there's a lot of psychological blocks a lot of times and a lot of beliefs that kind of undermine us and what have you. Some people just get it in their heads that this is the way it's always going to be, that it's just no use. And that's not helpful. So we have to address some of these things. Somebody may have told you in your past that, that you were this, that, or the other, and that that you were never going to be able to change anything, and then you buy into those beliefs, and they are self-fulfilling prophecies basically, and so we end up continuing in the same mindset, and it results in continuing in the same. Our circumstances don't change, so but it's an internal thing more than it is an external thing. So I mean, it's something that most of the things we try to do in our lives, we try to do. They're outside of us. They're on the external. We feel like if we just change all these things out here, that our circumstances or our experience of life will be different. And this is one of those things that. The internal change, the internal transformation is every bit as important as because it will have an external. The byproduct is the external. So, but it starts out internal, and I think addressing some of our negative beliefs and addressing most of us have a tape that we play over and over and over in our heads. And a lot of times we don't treat ourselves very good. We treat other people really good, and we really talk terrible to ourselves and treat ourselves badly. And I noticed I did that before. And when I started not repeating the same mantras about myself over and over and over and over again, I found that I was able to transcend that situation mentally and in my beliefs. So, have you had any of that experience?
Oh gosh, yeah. So I lost weight before, and I remember when I was in the Army, and I was in really good shape. I could run 15 miles, no big deal. And I would look in the mirror, and I still saw the fat kid. It's like, somebody with anorexia, they are not fat, but they see themselves as fat. Yeah. Well, it was almost like that. But for them, they'll just stop eating. Yeah. For me, I did the opposite. I'm like, I just gave up. Yeah. And I realized, as you talk about that, I'm like, yeah, I remember I've done that. And like you said, and I was just constantly, and I think, sometimes, being a Christian, I believe that the enemy sometimes puts that in our head too, where you're not going to make it, you're not good enough. I had a size 34 waist, and I didn't think it was good enough. And I'd kill for the 34-inch waist again, but So I've experienced that in my lifetime, and even now it's like, you try to do this and lost 10 pounds, and then I couldn't lose it. I haven't lost anything else. Oh, it's not going to work again, And I was like, no, I can't be like that. I need to be positive. I need to keep going this route. Yeah. It's better for me to work hard to keep that just 10 pounds off than to put it back again. Yeah, definitely, for sure. So even though I got a long way to go, but I Absolutely, I've experienced that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, as far as exercising goes, we've talked a little bit about the diet. As far as exercising goes, there's all kinds of ways to split it up. If you're going to the gym, if you know, a lot of people. I started out just walking. I spent a few months just walking is all I did, and then I started speeding up to just not a leisurely walk, but I started power walking. And then eventually I started jogging, and then eventually started running. So I just eased my way into it. You know, there's times, you know, as I got stronger and I started running more, that I would push myself to where there was some discomfort. And there's a payoff for that too, because there's a sense of achievement and, you know, when you push through some discomfort and you achieve your goals, there's a euphoria and there's an elation and a sense of you know, achievement basically, and then that propels you into doing more and pushing yourself more. But there's all kinds of ways. If you can look on YouTube or you can look on the internet and find different splits as far as if you go into the gym, like there's a push pull where you do push exercises, and then on another day you do pull exercises. You can do upper body, lower body. You can do, you know, there's all different ways to split it up. Some people do all different body parts. Some people do the entire body, you know, each time they go in to the gym. I do an upper body, lower body usually. I do, you know, chest, back, and shoulders, and then I do arms and legs on another day. So it just varies. It depends on you. I would look up and be age and gender specific as far as when you do your research about, you know, what kind of workout program you want to be on. There's different. I mean, if you're 20 years old, you're going to work out differently than if you're my age. As you get older, you need a little more rest time to recuperate, and you will actually, if you were to go every day, you would actually be counterproductive because you're not building any muscle in the gym. You're building your muscle when you're asleep and when you're resting, when you're eating, and when you're outside the gym. And when you're in the gym, you're just simply tearing muscle down. So it's out, you know, you're tearing it down in the gym. It's outside of the gym where you're building it up. And it has to do with the amount of protein you're consuming and calories, and the amount of rest you're getting. Rest is just really important. And keeping your stress level down is also very important. When your cortisol levels get really high, it's counterproductive to losing weight. It's counterproductive to building muscle. You know, the whole thing. So it's important to try to not be stressed out. You know, being stressed out doesn't do our bodies any good. A lot of times stress can even make you sick. You know, so there's definitely a mind-body connection that can't be denied. So
I saw a picture just today, actually. It's on my phone, which I can't show you now because we're using my phone to record this.
Yeah.
But it's a weird diagram, 3D thing that some neurosurgeon came up with. And if you stare at it and everything looks still, they say your stress levels are low. If it's slightly moving, that means you're slightly stressed. But if it looks like it's moving real fast, your stress levels will kind of change your perception of this photograph. I'll end up putting it on the screen for the users so they can see it.
Yeah, definitely.
And I had to do some training today. I'm always nervous when I have to do that. I have a lot of these are very important people where I work in the Air Force and things like that, and so I'm always a little nervous and not terribly bad, but a little nervous. And sure enough, I was looking at it, I was like, yeah, it's moving a little slow, so I am a little nervous, But there's days where I think it would have been zooming by. And that's something that because of my stress level, I had actually talked to my doctor about, and he had been helping me with that as well too, because I do get very stressed. And then he realized, for me personally, he's been seeing me a long time. He goes, Roy, I've known you a long time now. He said, I realize what it is. He says, you have ADHD. And I'm like, okay. And then he started going through all the symptoms. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is definitely me. he goes, and I realized that. And so he's been helping me with that. And it has improved my life. I mean, it really, and this has been fairly recent as well. It's made improvements on my life because I get stressed really, like I don't handle stress very well.
No, okay.
And I let it overwhelm me. And a lot of times when I was real stressed, I'd turn to food.
Yeah.
Because food gives you those endorphins, and then you feel a little bit better about the whole situation. And so, but he's given me some medication that's actually helping with it, so I don't feel as stressed. I cannot believe how much clearer my mind is. Because of that. So, if you're having stress issues, sometimes they're just issues, and you try to work them out. And I did for years. But then I was talking to him about it, and I'm glad I did, because I did not expect him to have a thought on how to treat it. And he said, we've talked about this before, and he said, I don't think I've been treating you properly. I think I want to try something different. And he did, gave me some meds, and I take them once a day, and wow. It's improved.
I'm glad. Yeah, that's great.
Because normally, whenever I would get ready to teach class, boy, I'd be so stressed. I couldn't sleep at night before, and so it's helped. So if you're having somebody who can't handle stress like me, talk to your doctor. It's not going to hurt you to do that. And for me, that I think is going to help me too, not to eat as much, because I'm not going to food for the comfort
stress
that I need because of stress relief.
Yeah. So I would do that too, and be consistent. That's for sure. Consistency is a big thing. It's probably one of the most important things, really, to be consistent. So if you are unable to do your whole workout for because you have a scheduling thing, or you just gotten too busy, try your very best not to completely skip the day altogether. Even if you're only able to do a few minutes, do it. Because when you skip altogether, it kind of takes away the momentum. If you did even just a little bit, you're still in the mindset, I did something, I didn't skip a day. Because once you start skipping days, it just seems to be that much easier to skip again. So I've learned that to be, even if I have a scheduling issue, then I at least try to do something to keep my momentum.
That's my wife went on a vacation with my daughter, and they went together. They went to Boston, and they went everywhere, and they walked for all over the place. I mean, just tens of thousands of steps every day, and she's like, I don't want to. She goes, by the end of the week, she goes, I was like stronger than when we started. Yeah. And so she didn't want to lose it. I've been real proud of her, because she's been going out and walking every day to keep that up. And she always gets a lot of steps in anyway compared to me. Yeah. But now she's really amping it up. And so, I agree with you that even if it's just walking, you're like, well, I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have to do that. Well, if you got to make some phone calls, you got your cell phone. Walk while you're making your phone calls.
Definitely. You can incorporate doing more than one thing at a time, for sure, if you can. And also, this has to become it's not a temporary thing. So you don't do it for a while so you can lose weight and then go back to the way you were living before. It has to become a lifestyle. It has to be a life change. It can't just be a temporary change in activity and diet and to achieve an end and then go back to the way it was before, because you'll end up yo-yoing. You'll end up back in the same situation. And I really like to encourage people to find some physical activity that you don't hate, that you actually enjoy, that's fun for you, whether it could be racquetball or tennis or swimming. I go running and I go biking and I go kayaking. But I mean, there's all kinds of sports that, you can play to get your heart rate up, or and get your heart rate up and get some cardio in and burn some calories. And if you enjoy doing it, you'll keep doing it. If you don't, if you absolutely hate it and it's a chore and it's drudgery and it's grueling for you, you will not continue doing it for the long haul. You just won't, So I would find some activity. I liked going to Zumba and to aerobics at the gym. It was fun. Everybody was in there, and there was cool music playing, and it was upbeat. And if you have the ability to do that, I also for quite a long time have been doing. Put it on YouTube right there in my living room. I push the coffee table back, and right there in my living room, I do. There's aerobics you can do, calisthenics you can do, and it's all over YouTube. I mean, you can't miss it. One of my favorites is the Body Project, and I would do half an hour, 45 minutes on the Body Project every day. And so you don't have to go to the gym. I mean, you could do that right in your living room or in your basement or wherever you're at. But do something find something that you like to do or love to do, because you won't continue to do something that you hate. Mm-hmm. So,
That's true.
But I think that's pretty much all I've got today. So if anybody has any questions or would like to speak with us, I'm going to have Roy put on the phone number or how to get me on Facebook or Messenger or whatever. We can do that.
And right now, you better use Messenger because getting this phone working.
My phone's not working right now, but we'll put that up for you. And I just like to encourage anybody to continue to pursue their goals, and hope to see you again soon. Thanks, Roy, for having us here.
Yes, always.
All right.